Okay, Malkah, welcome to the show. Okay.
Thank you. I tried to get on with my computer like a bunch of times, but you know, I guess the temple is destroyed. My computer is destroyed. Everything's destroyed. What can I do?
Okay, Malkah Fleisher, what is Tisha B'av for you?
Tisha B'av is the day. I mean, this is not going to be like a happy thing, but Tisha B'av for me is the day that we remember the destruction of our temples and we remember the calamities that happened to our people. But for me, it's not like an external thing. It's not like, oh, look what the Romans did to us. Look what the Greeks did to us. Look what the Nazis did to us. Look what all these people did to us. Although that stuff is very true. And I think that ultimately those people will have to answer for their part in our history. But it's really more about like our failings, the things that we have done to lead to these calamities. As we know, Hashem is merciful and protects the Jewish people. And we feel that even as we feel the judgment and at times even the wrath and the breakage, we know that Hashem is patient with us because here we are. Look, he keeps giving us chance after chance. But it's more of like a guilt day for me. That's the truth. It's a day where you feel like we've not gotten it yet. We have a lot to fix. That's what Tisha B'av is for me.
Did you see the video of the people prostrating themselves on the Temple Mount?
I certainly did. I was very proud of those people. Like surprisingly / not surprisingly, it's like the news for today, probably because Iran hasn't attacked Israel. So they were hoping to cover that in the news, but instead they're not covering that. They're covering this. This is all over the news. Yishai, it's interesting, you know, Qatar and Saudi Arabia have come out to condemn these like little yidlach for going up on the Temple Mount and our internal security minister. And they said it's like an insult to Islam, to Muslims.
What's an insult to Muslims?
That Jews would, you know, like who the heck do you people think you are exactly? What are you? You don't deserve to go up there. This is our spot. This is our place. Back off. You have no control here. You have no ownership here. And I think that it's really like the Tisha B'av answer would be to be like, well, who the heck are you to tell us what to do here on our holiest spot? Like, who are you to talk to the state of the Jews that way? Like, who counts you? You don't count in the discussion of what we're going to do on the Temple Mount. And of course, excuse me, I phlegm, 9 days, no eating, drinking. Anyway, and of course, unfortunately, we had the Prime Minister's office coming out and saying like our internal security minister doesn't set policy around here. We have a status quo. And Ben Gvir came out in a tweet today being like, they told me last time around Sukkot not to go up to the Temple Mount. So I didn't go up to the Temple Mount. But and then basically the next day or a couple days later, there was like a horrible atrocity in the South, the 7th of October. Our enemies don't need excuses. They will find.
Look, who's our old friend, Amir De Leon.
Nice to see you.
He feels October 7th very, very strongly.
I hear that.
Yeah.
And he's like, our enemies don't need. There's no such thing as provocations. It's fake. It's fake news. They're not like, oh my gosh, you've done X, so we're going to do Y. They will attack us because that's what they want to do, not because we did some kind of perceived injustice. And what would be the injustice, by the way? What's the injustice here? Did we like elbow some people out of Al-Aqsa and be like, get out of here, we're praying here?
Right.
Like, what are we talking about? We're talking about people who went around the periphery on a quiet, hot morning and prayed to their God. This is supposed to be a democracy up in here. Like, even if we're not talking about the state of the Jews, which we should be doing, but even if we're not talking about the state of the Jews, can we at least talk about a democracy? And in a democracy, shouldn't you have like freedom of religion?
I'm careful to use the word democracy. I think we should say democratic values. The reason I don't want to say the word democracy because I don't want Israel, because Israel is not a democracy for all peoples.
It's definitely not a democracy. But I'm saying that there are people who would argue that what is amazing about Israel is that it's a democracy. That's not my argument.
That's why
my argument is
that
that Israel's amazing because it's a Jewish state, and it's a state which also manages to be accepting of other peoples, even as it is a proud Jewish state, and it's a merciful country, even though it's a strong Jewish values country. That's not my argument, but I'm saying in the argument of those who would argue that Israel is a democracy.
Our good friend Alana Brenner.
That it doesn't hold water.
Our good friend Alana Brenner writes, tell Qatar that the Jews will go up every time a rocket is shot into Israel. And I love Alana very much, and I like that comment, but I would say, no, this is not a threat. We're not trying to threaten you. This is not a tit for tat. We're not angry at you, and therefore we're going up to the Temple Mount.
Although they are threatened. Yishai.
No,
they are threatened.
No, they are. But we're going up to the Temple Mount because it's our holy place.
Right.
And that's the reason.
That's what threatens them.
Right. Oh, that's their problem.
That's what threatens them. They are very threatened by Jewish, not even strength, although they're threatened by that. They are threatened by Jewish holiness. They are threatened by Jewish prayer. They are scared of us. What will happen? What are the spiritual ramifications of a Jew prostrating himself on the Temple Mount? Some little Jew guy who like showed up on a day where he hasn't eaten or drank anything, and they're nervous about him.
When you have a replacement religion, so when the replacement refuses to be replaced, so they are the replacement religion, but we, the replacee, refuses to accept being replaced by the replacer.
Yeah.
And so therefore that's very frustrating. And we refuse to be replaced. Yeah. Okay. That's the slogan today. Okay. That's the slogan today, which is refusing to be replaced.
You know, Yishai, people can't see it. I don't know if you mentioned this because I haven't been listening to your whole show. I kind of have a headache and I've been lying down. But across from this camera, on the other side of the camera, on the wall over there, is a what do you call this?
You know better than me.
Not embroidery. How do you call it when you have there's no calories in my brain right now. Wait, how do you call this?
Needle point.
Needle point. There's a needle point. You win, Yishai.
Yes.
Needle point one for you. Okay.
Yes.
There's a needle point that my grandmother, the Holocaust survivor, made. And it is a needle point of the binding of Isaac, where Abraham has little Isaac bound up and he has his knife out, and then there's an angel and she's like, don't. And this is our theme, basically. Maybe this is our theme for the day.
Evan says, the world has no understanding of how deeply connected Jews are to Israel and Har HaBayit, and instead completely overplay the Muslim connection to Israel. You know, the Saudis, they actually don't like the whole Temple Mount Al-Aqsa thing because for them it's an affront, because the heart of Islam.
They came out and condemned us today and said that it was an affront to Muslims that Jews prayed on the Temple Mount. That's
too bad, because a lot of times the Saudis will tell you privately that they are against it because they are for Mecca and Medina. They're against too much concentration on the Jewish spot. Our Happy Life says, keep up the godly work, speak the truth even when it offends. No more giving away the land of Israel. Duh. Take back Gaza. Yes. Baruch Hashem, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael is live. That's right. Am Yisrael.
Yes. Thank you so much.
That's right, Malkah. And here's a banner that I want to put up right now, which is refuse to be replaced. Refuse to be replaced. Just
bam.
What's the other word? When you struggle, just say no. Just resist. Oh, resist. I like that better. I'm going to change that. Hold on one second. Let me change that. Resist.
So what are people saying about Tisha B'av, Yishai?
You know, people are really feeling it in different ways, and I think they're really happy that we're live here. Resist being replaced, right? They're happy that we're live.
That says Bing.
They're happy that we are connecting with them. People want that. All religions are welcome in Israel, but it's always going to be a Jewish state. Respect. That's right. No.
You're very close.
It's just
sometime after we eat the vegetable soup that I made, you will be able to spell.
Here's the other side. When people say to me, Israel should give up our land or not give up our land, I have a simple slogan for that, which is this one: let my people grow. Let my people grow in the land. Let my people grow. Let it grow.